discuss interesting idea about the flood. What causes flood? I'm not speaking about the flood in Carolina, but the flood in the time of Noah. The Torah tells us about it in the portion of Noah. And the story is there, as everyone knows, the land was corrupted, and this corruption made God very cross, and wrath and anger came down, and this was the water of the flood, which destroyed the world. God promised that a flood like this one will never occur, but floods in countries, in states, in cities definitely will be. So let us see what our rabbis tell us about the real source of the flood, what causes the flood, which kind of sins, and why. Must be a reason for it. Why flood? Why not fires? Why not fires also? But flood have a specific reason, as we see just now. Now, what I say now is based on the great Rabbi Moshe Shapira Zatzal. Passed away, but he left a lot of material, very deep. A lot of them also built on the Holy Tongue, but very, very deep to do with Kabbalah, with everything, really covering everything. A lot of books came out, and one of the books really which came recently is called in Hebrew Zeh Shar. This is a gate. This is, you can see in Hebrew from Moshe Shapira Zatzal, and this was really written by his pupil, and his pupil name is Eliyahu Kinreich, and this is in Hebrew, very heavy book, a lot of pages, and in one of the chapters there, one of the lectures, one can say, which he gave, it is in Pertet. In it, he goes into the deep reason for floods, why flood came. Now the first thing, as our rabbis tell us a long time ago, in the time of the Talmud, more than 2,000 years ago, they tell us reason for the flood, why this flood of Noah came. And this is what our rabbi said in Tractate Kala. If you know, it's a small tractate, but also part of the Talmud. And in chapter 2 is written the generation of the flood, wasted their semen. Now, what it means, because this is semen, is the root of creation, the source of people, of men, definitely wasting it, destroying it, makes God very cross. He gave men this power to become fruitful, to bring children, and as the world will be going, not to enjoy. So, it's amazing, this is what is written, one of the causes of the flood. Then we have also another interesting Talmud, it is in Sanhedrin, Tractate Sanhedrin, page 188a, in the first part, 108a, and there it says the following. Rabbi Yochanan says, also more than 2,000 years ago says, he speaks about the verse in Genesis 6, chapter 6, verse 12, for all flesh had corrupted its way upon the earth. This is why the flood came. Now, which kind of corruption was it? So rabbis tell us in different places, and one of them is the Tractate Sanhedrin. This Rabbi Yochanan says, this teaches, this expression of corruption, that the people of the generation of the flood mated male domesticated animals with female undomesticated animals, and male undomesticated animals with female domesticated animals, and all male animals with human females, And human males with all. Human males with all. Is male also. Homosexualism. But the idea is the same. Definitely. Wasting semen. The seed of creation. This was made. Definitely got very close. And this is why the flood came. This is the reason for the flood. But what is the idea? Why? Why flood? So there, as we said, Rabbi Moshe Shapira, in this book, it's in Hebrew, as we said, he goes into length, very deep ideas, but let us take the main ideas, try to make them simple. And he says the following. He says, God created man and woman. In Hebrew, the word for man, better to say male, is zachar, and the woman called nekeva, female. Zachar is male, nekeva is female. Now the word zachar says as a numerical value, gematria, everything gematria. So zachar, those three letters, zayin is 7, kaf is 20, resh is 200, 227. 227 are exactly the same gematria numerical value of the word beracha. Beracha, blessings. Bet is 2, resh 200, kaf 20, a 5, 227. What is the idea here? God gave the male, power of blessing. What is blessing? Blessing, if you use the word blessing for barach, levarech, is brecha also is source of abundance. Brecha, the same root. Pool, pool is full of water. And God gave the man this brecha, this source of blessings, water, with which he will bring blessing to the world, people, men, right? This is the purpose of the zachar, the male. Male, see, maybe some says that male even is connected with the Hebrew word milah, lamul, moel, mal. But milah, circumcision, brit. This is really the source of holiness of God in man. And this is exactly indicating our severity if somebody does not use it properly. So male and milah and moel and ma'ul very likely are coming from the Hebrew word moel, ma'al, milah. So this is really the Brit covenant between man and God, and this is the Brit Milah. So altogether, definitely the purpose of a man, of a male, is to become fruitful, to use his power which God gave him, blessing, the barachot that he got, to bring abundance to the world. But he should have the vessel how to bring it. So that it is a woman. And says Rabbi Moshe Shapira, that's the worst and the most severe situation is when there is lot of abundance, but is no vessel to get it. I mean, lot of water going all over, but is no vessel to contain them, to keep them. It means no proper receiver. Then the blessing turns to disaster. This is exactly what the flood represents. The flood is a situation. A lot of water, and the water all over coming. They don't have a place, a vessel to contain them. And this is what caused disaster. It's really a flood. So he says, Moshe Shapira said beautifully, he says the word mabul in Hebrew, yes, in Hebrew, flood is mabul. So mabul really comes from the source, levalot, balo, which means really balo, something which is already rotting because of being long time balo, is also to the balo, better to say, the word mabul have to do from leovil. Yuval in Hebrew is also like kind of a fountain, source of water, Yuval. It comes from leovil. Leovil, it means to bring over, send over, hovala, yeah, transport. This is really the idea of blessing in leovil, to bring abundance of what it is, and somebody is supposed to get it. If they don't get it, it becomes wasted, balo, is wasted. This exactly is what the flood is, right? Brings huge of water, but no place to contain it. This is like a man without a woman. Man and man, you know, because a woman, which is nekiva, as he said, nekiva, said Rabbi Moshe Shapira, comes from the word linkov sachar, to give like a reward, to finish off reward, to decide, to fix the amount. I said linkov, how much a person is supposed to get. It means linkov is you're doing something summary for what is going on, you know, and you give it in the right way, in the right frame. Also interesting that the word female, that is nekiva from nakov, is also from nekev. Nekev is like a hole. A hole, it means this is the opening of a vessel, right? So this is exactly what the receiver is. In this case, is a woman. So this is why when a man is with a woman, lives properly, then is blessing to the world. Yeah, blessing to the world. But when they get married, a man and a woman, 7 blessings. Yeah, 7 blessings. Because this is a situation of blessing. But men and men, no blessings, only curse. And this is exactly the cause of the flood. This was the cause of the flood in the time of Noah. I don't know if it's the cause of flood in Carolina, but you know, in my book, What's in Your Name, by the way, one can get my books in glazerson.com. I said something interesting, that is written that letters in my name have meanings. So I don't know, Carolina, Kuf Reish, you know, this letter Kuf Reish is a letter of Amalekite, Asher Karcha Baderech. Also English, if you take the English word cruelty, cracking, you know, cross, all this Kuf Reish, Kabbalistically, has to do with negative forces, yeah. Amalek, Asher Karcha Baderech. Karcha is this what he did to you? She said homosexualism, because this is exactly also. So I don't say that Carolina can be, Kuf Reish is also good Hebrew words, you know, lots of Hebrew words with Kuf Reish also. Korban, offering was Korban. Everything is positive and negative. So I don't say that Carolina, but it's interesting. And this is what you have to know, you know, and unfortunately, as there are laws in the state, Obama, Hillary, and I like this very much, democracy, men and men, you know, this is exactly what we see clearly was the cause of the flood of Noah. This is what the Rabbi said, exactly, because God gave you seed, power to build, to create, to bring people to the world, to inhabit the world. And what you are doing with this? Wasting it, destroying it. This is which was the cause from the flood in the time of Noah. So, no, we hope that Trump will really rectify the situation, you know, and will take away, eradicate these terrible laws of men and men, democracy. As a Democrat is numerical value of Satan. Satan, Democrat, 44 on the cross. So together, 359. Because look, when you allow man and man to be together, when you allow homosexualism, this is exactly the work of the Satan. It's against the Torah. Anything which is against the Torah is a Satan. We believe in the Torah. We believe that God gave us the Torah. Also, there are 7 laws of Noach that to be kept also. One of them is definitely not, men and men are not allowed from Torah point of view. So, therefore, looking into the situation today, unfortunately, such flood never was such a thing. And this, as I said, who knows? We have to, we have to worry. We have to take into account everything. So after seeing what our rabbis tell us, what are the causes for this? So this was really, we said Rabbi Moshe Shapira goes more into it. And he explains many, many ideas. He said this principle, of knowing, for example, if a man has huge knowledge, he knows a lot, he knows all the Torah, Kabbalah, everything, but he is not doing it. He does not fulfill the Torah. Then it's better that, however, says that he will not be born. Yeah, he will not be born. Because the fact that a man has so much knowledge, and he does not bring it out, doesn't keep the mitzvot, it's very, very dangerous, very dangerous. Also, the same idea. It can go disaster. It is like really exactly like the flood. You have a lot of water is like the Torah, and not bringing the water into the right place, not to use the water properly. Irrigation, whatever is the water, brings disaster. Same thing. People who know a lot, they know Kabbalah, but don't practice it. That's very, very dangerous. I ever said that for such kind of people, better that they will not be born. This was really is the same idea as Rabbi Moshe Shapira, the Salvador here. And